Ferrari were on fire last season, both literally and figuratively. The prancing horses stormed out the gates, guns blazing, only for things to peter out for them as the season went on, leaving the tifosi disappointed yet again. But with a new season comes a renewed sense of hope that this will be the year Ferrari returns to the top of the Formula One mountain. So, have the team finally put out the fires that plagued the team all season long in 2022? And is Charles Leclerc ready to make his stamp on the sport? All that and a lot more in today's video. Throughout the previous year, Ferrari as well as its affiliated customer teams Alfa Romeo and Haas experienced frequent issues. Due to the existing engine freeze regulations, manufacturers are limited to improving the reliability of their engines. However, there have been rumors that Ferrari has made advancements in terms of performance. Gualtieri acknowledges that the team's Achilles heel from last season can only be definitively addressed through track testing. Only then can it be determined whether or not the issue has been resolved. Preparation work for the new season is usually one of the busiest times of the year, and this winter was no exception, Gualtieri said in a team video. Actually, PUs have been frozen since last year, including fluids, so oil and fuel. And the only modifications allowed are those related to reliability. In fact, reliability was our Achilles heel last season, and so we worked over the winter to solve our main problems to try and reach the desired level of reliability. That was our aim for 2023, and our work this winter was based on this. He would also reveal that the team revisited their assembly process to point out where the issues could have originated. Another thing that we should revisit is why some of you are still not subscribed to the channel. Care to change that? Wink, wink. Now, back to Ferrari's climb back to glory. We worked mainly on those areas that gave us the most trouble last season. So we focused on the internal combustion engine and the electric motors. However, at the same time, we tried to capitalize on the experience gained on track last season. And so we looked at all the feedback and signs of weakness from the PU components that were used. Clearly, this involves various design areas of some components, but at the same time, we also revised when necessary our assembly procedures. The work involved all the PU personnel as well as our colleagues in the supply chain and our suppliers. Gualtieri would add that this had been the team's obsession this past winter break and would detail how the team had gone about fixing these issues. We worked on all areas, trying to understand the root causes of the problems we encountered on track and used all our available tools to try and solve them. In fact, the work involved all areas from design to experimentation, including the assembly process, to try and test new solutions in a very short space of time. We also made the most of the experience gained in the second half of last season and then further evolved some of the components where necessary. The work never ends, based on continuous improvement of the components to try and reach the required level of reliability. We've had some positive feedback on the test bench on some of the changes we've introduced, but as usual, the track will tell us if we've done a good job. Ferrari's new team principal, Fred Vasseur, would echo Gualtieri's views and say that the car's performance will be the final verdict if they had done a good enough job to fix their reliability issues. I think the priority for everyone is reliability, said the Frenchman, because when you are at this stage of the season, if you don't have the reliability, you're not able to do the 3 days, and then you start on the wrong foot. We did the mileage that we have to do on the dyno. We're all optimistic, but only Bahrain will tell us where we are in terms of reliability and performance. So far, I would say that it's all okay. Another adjustment the prancing horses made to their 2023 Challenger is running a supposedly banned Mercedes front wing design to their SF23. During Ferrari's debut of the SF23 in Maranello, sharp-eyed observers noted the presence of slot gap generators that appear similar to the ones Mercedes was prohibited from using last season. Mercedes tested the design during practice at the Mexican Grand Prix, but decided not to utilize it during qualifying or the race to avoid potential objections. The design was eventually prohibited because it was deemed to be contrary to the regulation's intent, as it could be exploited for aerodynamic benefits, thereby counteracting the aim of the 2022 cars, which are engineered to promote tighter competition. At the time, the FIA originally stipulated in the technical regulations that slot gap generators could only be used primarily for mechanical, structural, or measurement reasons. But this past December, the governing body has revised this ruling, removing the word primarily to state they must only be used as a structural connection between consecutive front-wing profiles. As a result, teams are now permitted to use front-wing configurations featuring slot gap generators that impact aerodynamics, provided that they adhere to the precise measurement specifications required to comply fully with the regulations. With all of these changes and improvements, plus the ones the team is keeping under wraps, it seems as though both their drivers are ready to take another shot at winning it all this season. Or at least this was the case when both Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc took their new SF23 for a spin at the Pista di Fiorano test track during their car reveal. It feels good. The first kilometers with this new project after doing so many kilometers on the simulator, it feels special, said Leclerc after a few laps with the new car. Everything went smoothly. Obviously, with 2 laps, it's difficult to go into details, but I already gave my feedback once I was in the car there to the engineers to get the first feeling. The car was running well, smooth, everything went really well. It's amazing to have a grandstand in Fiorano with all the tifosi here. There are also loads of tifosi there at the bridge. It is very, very special to feel the support also on a day like this. I don't think it happens to any other teams, and that's why Ferrari is so special. But with all of his excitement, Leclerc would put a caveat to his statements and say that their new car is forcing him to alter his driving style quite a bit. There are some differences, so we need to adapt a little bit the driving style, but overall, the feeling is good. It seems that the weaknesses that we had last year are better for this year, which was the goal, but we still need to wait for the first few real laps before speaking. The SF23 is the culmination of all the effort and hard work the team and their drivers had gone through this past season, where they were ever so close to winning it all. We've been putting a lot of work into the new car, and now it's finally all done, said Leclerc. We want to improve. Last year was a good step forward. We need to do just the same this year and hopefully get the championship. That is the target for the team, and it is the target for me to get more wins. Hopefully be more consistent from the first race to the last race, and hopefully we'll get that title. 2022 was a good step forward following 2 difficult years, but we finished second in the Drivers' Championship and also in the Constructors' Championship, he said. We have done a great job trying to address the weaknesses that there were on the car, and hopefully it will be better this season. Vasseur would echo Leclerc and say that the team will do all that it can to finally climb the Everest of Formula One. I don't want to say it will be easy because Red Bull and Mercedes will have the same target, and only one team and driver will win. But we need to have this kind of target. We need to bring the mindset to do a better job tomorrow than today, and always to be trying to improve the system. So, will this be the season the prancing horses gallop their way to the top of the sport? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel before you click off the video.